When you're expecting your first kid, it's scary, it's exciting, and there's a whole world ahead of you of uncertainty. I'm here to help. I've got 3, and here are 21 things I wish I would have known, but nobody told me. You're gonna get a ton of advice about being a great dad. And trust me, we need so many more great dads in this world. But most of the advice that you're going to get isn't specific enough to be helpful. These are specific things that I wish I would have known. So let's get started. Let's jump right into number 1. This sets the groundwork for everything else. Having a child is the most hopeful thing you can do for the future. And it's also really freaking scary. And that's okay. Both of those things can exist within your mind at the exact same time. You've done a great thing. You're gonna be a dad, and that is the most important thing that you can be. Number 2, at first, your wife is going to be better at absolutely everything. You're actually going to feel a little useless, but you're not. That feeling will pass, and that time will pass. In the beginning, man, I'm just here to tell you, you really are kind of a vestigial organ. You're just kind of hanging on. It's okay. It's okay. You aren't worthless. You're there more for your wife than you are for the baby. Just remember that. Number 3, your wife is going to feel massively unattractive, and she's going to be going without sleep to the point of near madness. That's why you have to be there to support. And here's the real point of that. You're probably wondering when things are going to get back to normal. You know what I'm saying? It's going to take a bit. Everybody's different on this, and it does take different lengths of time. Just hang in there. Be that support. It'll be worth it. Number 4, one size does not fit all. If you pick up a parenting book or a piece of advice that says, this is the way to do it, this is the sleep schedule you must have, this is the feeding schedule you must have, you have to do food this way, throw it out the window, it's bullshit. One size doesn't fit all. The stuff that even works on your first kid might not work on your second. I've got 3, and they are so wildly different. One size doesn't fit all. It's okay. Just be agile, be on your toes. That is the real skill of parenting. Number 5, this one is super important. At some point in the journey, your kid is going to have a favorite stuffed animal, or a favorite blanket, or something that they need to accompany their existence everywhere. They can't sleep without it. You can't go out without it. They gotta have it. Here's the pro tip. Buy 2 replacements. One's gonna get lost. Trust me on this. It's gonna be a restaurant somewhere. You're gonna be on vacation, and you're gonna be getting out of there, and you're not gonna notice that you left it there in the boot. Have replacements, and you don't have to deal with the apocalyptic meltdown that will change the life of your child. Have those replacements, and if you really wanna be a pro, rotate those replacements. If they're stuffed animals, rotate them every so often so they get a similar level of wear and tear and patina to them. Trust me, they can tell when something's different. Number 6, you will always love your children intensely, but you won't always like them that much. That's normal, that's okay, because sometimes they're gonna be little jerks, and you're gonna love them, and you're not gonna like them for that little period of time. That's okay, there's nothing wrong with you. Number 7, you're gonna yell sometimes. You're gonna do your best not to. What's happening though is you can't control a situation. It's gonna happen. It's not a failure, but it is an indicator that you need to either take a step back or deal with something inside and move forward, and do your best not to let that trigger you into yelling next time. Remember, they're kids, you're a grown-up. It's really scary for them. It's really easy for you. Number 8, let your kids play dangerously. Just don't let them do anything that will damage their head, their neck, or their spine. That seems too overbroad, I understand. They're gonna climb trees, yes, and could they fall out, hurt their head, neck, or spine? They could. Chances are low. That's more probably gonna be an arm or a leg or something. But just be aware of the head, neck, and spine. That is a life-changing injury nobody wants to deal with, but you do need to let kids expand their comfort zone with a little bit of dangerous play. Number 9, your kids are going to lie to you at some point. This is not a failure on your part. All kids do this. There's nothing that you did wrong. In fact, when this is happening, they are developing theory of mind. Before this, kids snitch on themselves all the time. They don't even realize they're snitching because they don't realize what's in their mind is different from what's in yours. That's what theory of mind is. So when your kid starts lying to you, they are now aware that what they have in here is different from what you have in there. And that's kind of cool that they have theory of mind. And it's also gonna really piss you off that they're lying to you. Just because all kids do this, obviously doesn't mean you don't correct it. You do correct it because you don't want them to be pathological little liars running through life, but just know that it wasn't a failure on your part. This is normal development. Number 10, they're going to mispronounce things, especially in the toddler stage, in the cutest way. Record it. When they mispronounce those things, record them, because you're gonna wish they do it. One day they mispronounce a word, the next day they don't, and you really, really miss it. My oldest daughter used to not be able to pronounce animals. She loves animals. She called them meemals, and it was the coolest thing. And then one day, just like that, it was gone. Number 11, everything is new, fresh, and exciting for them. Just because it's old hat for you, don't rain on the parade. Take it as an opportunity to see it through their eyes. Just because if you've been to Disneyland 937 times and you absolutely hate paying $17 for a churro, they've never done that before. So take the opportunity, not so much to be in the experience, but to be in their experience, to be observing them experiencing that thing. That'll take the edge off of some of those things that you're gonna have to do repeatedly. Number 12, don't specialize in activities too soon. From the age of when they're born to like 12, this is the prime time for developing skills and physical competencies and mental competencies. Don't put them in travel baseball at 5. I see this mistake a lot. And then what happens? A lot of these kids hit 10th grade, wash out. They're burnt out, they don't want to do it anymore, and they wish they would have played basketball for a couple seasons. Especially in that 0 to 12, this is a great time to put them in all sorts of things. Combat sports, make sure they get into some combat sports. Get them into some stuff that requires a lot of balance, like gymnastics. Get them into a lot of physical disciplines, and as they get a little bit older, into that middle school range, then you can zero in and figure out what their specialty is going to be. But don't be that parent who buys $200 baseball bats for their 6-year-old in travel baseball. It's pretty lame, and it's gonna stunt their overall development. Number 13, interrupt tantrums and meltdowns by making them laugh. Break that pattern. Here's what I do. This is gonna be super silly. I'm already embarrassed that I'm about to do this. When my 3-year-old is having one of those meltdowns, I make really ridiculous noises to make her laugh. And now I've broken that pattern and we can have a conversation. So she's sitting there melting down, going crazy. The sky is falling, everything's on fire. And I just go, nyan, 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 nyan. It's bizarre. Yes, I do it in public. I don't really care. It breaks it up. She starts laughing. I can't get through to her when she's locked in on that meltdown. You gotta break it up. And if she starts laughing, then we can actually have a little kind of a conversation between an adult and a very small child. Yes, but we're not locked into the object of the tantrum. Number 14, you are way more embarrassed about their behavior in public than the people around you are. Parents always think, and I'm guilty of this, but parents always think that when you're out there and your kid's misbehaving, that everybody's looking at you. Look, man, nobody's looking at you. Everybody's in their own world. They're concerned about themselves. It's true when your kids are misbehaving as well. So just take a little pressure off yourself. It's embarrassing, yes, but nobody else really cares. They're not gonna remember. Once they go home, it's over, forget about it. Number 15, as they get older, no matter what, you are not gonna be cool. So I always thought I'd be the cool dad, right? I kind of grew up in the punk rock scene, and I'm tattooed all over the place, and did combat sports and thought that would be cool. My 13-year-old daughter thinks I am so lame. There's just nothing you can do about that. No matter what you have going on that you think makes you cool, it's gonna make you super cool when they're 5, and when they're 13, forget about it. Number 16, do not allow them social media at all whatsoever. The data are super clear on this. If you don't have to believe me, look up Jonathan Haidt's work. It's super clear. Social media for kids, it's just a non-negotiable. Number 17, take them on dates or outings and let them choose what they want to do. As they get a little bit older, kind of after 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, when you're in that range, let them choose what they want to do, and then go all in, man. My middle, she loves playing video games, so going to an arcade and just tearing up some old school video games is super fun for her. It's not necessarily my thing. It's not how I'd want to spend my Saturday if I had my choice, but I want to be there for her and I want her to feel like she has some agency over what it is we're going to do. This isn't all the time, but for these specific times where you're taking them out to have their one-on-one with you, let them pick and really immerse yourself in whatever it is that thing is, even if it's not your thing. Number 18, quantity of time beats quality time. I know people are gonna say, oh, it's all about quality time. You gotta spend quality time. Quality times are specific things, like those dates I mentioned or those outings that you take your kids on. But the way that kids relate and what kids want, especially when they're young, they want quantity of time. They want to be around you. They just want to hang out sometimes and just cuddle up on you and do nothing. Kids don't understand that you're making quality time for them. They want quantity. Number 19, your life can now be divided into two parts. There is the you before you hear, I love you, Daddy, and there is the you after you hear it. When you hear, I love you, Daddy, without prompting them to say it, your life is completely different. Everything about you, every cell in your body is now changed. Remember that moment. It is so cool when it happens. Number 20, take care of yourself too. This part's hard, right? Especially when I just got done railing about quantity of time. This part is tough. You gotta take care of yourself. Don't eat like an asshole. If you're tired, lay off the booze. It's hard to get in a workout, totally get it. When the kids are napping, 25 minutes of training is better than nothing. Get out there and swing a kettlebell around, go for a quick run, hit some sprints, hit some pull-ups. Sometimes it's gonna be bare minimum, and that's okay. You gotta do a little bit of something. If you do absolutely nothing, you're gonna be 2 years in to your child's life and you're gonna be that dad that put on 20, 25 pounds. You're like, what the heck happened to me? And you'll lose respect for yourself. I'm not saying you gotta be shredded six-pack guy all the time, whatever with that. But have awareness to put time into taking care of yourself so that you feel good and that you can bring your best and bring all the energy that you can to your parenting. That's what's important. Not how you look, it's more about how you feel and how you're treating yourself. Number 21, the last one. Guys, kids are resilient. You're gonna mess up, it's okay. They bounce back. I promise nobody's got this thing down perfect, but let me tell you what, literally trillions of people or billions, however many people have been alive since the beginning of people, they've done this before. Okay, you're gonna get it, you're gonna get through it, you're gonna make some mistakes, and that's totally fine. The kids are resilient. Just keep every day you try to do a little bit better, you're doing your best. Go out there and be a great dad. Go out there and be a great dad. The world needs more of those. We are in a recession of great dads, not you. Thanks for watching. You're gonna do great. Congratulations.